We have been following you on social media, and so many of you wrote us to tell us about epic lines you encountered at the polls coast to coast. You can see some of them right there in Washington, D.C., but people did wait hours and hours to vote, and the voting remained in full swing and does now. But it hasn't stopped Governor Romney from squeezing in a few more campaign stops, and ABC's David Muir was there with him. David.
Diane, good evening. Can you believe the day is finally here? And as you mentioned, a frenetic pace for Governor Romney right up until the end. I can tell you he just landed here in Boston after stops in Ohio and Pennsylvania today. They do believe Pennsylvania is now in play for the Republicans. But I got to tell you, it all started this morning when he walked into his own polling place in his neighborhood here in Belmont, Massachusetts. He says he was humbled when he saw his name right there for the President of the United States. Mitt Romney and his wife Ann back home this morning, walking in to cast their votes. A quiet moment side by side after nearly 6 years of campaigning, 2 runs for the White House. And tonight, he is one step away. Outside, a kiss and then a question about Ohio.
Yeah, I feel great about Ohio. Thank you.
But not taking that state for granted, a last-minute dash today back to Ohio. His body man taking this image on the plane, Romney proudly wearing his pin. And on the Cleveland tarmac, Romney's plane, then his running mate's plane, Paul Ryan. And then Vice President Joe Biden's plane, 3 at once, in a state both sides desperately want to win. For Romney, it's been a race to the finish, traveling 15,000 miles in 4 days, 4 states just since last night. Overnight on my iPhone, capturing this moment, the Romney plane pulling into this Columbus, Ohio hangar. And soon after, we were all back on the plane.
We're getting on the plane now to New Hampshire.
Headed to New Hampshire, where his candidacy began, landing for a rally lasting past midnight.
This is where our campaign began. You got this campaign started a year and a half ago at the Scammon Farm.
And we were standing right there as he worked his last rope line as a candidate, a nod to us after that giant bear hug. And if anyone is revealing the rigors of 2 presidential runs, it is Ann, who overnight was overcome by the support.
I am just so moved. It's just so emotional to be here and to have this kind of reception from Ohio, a state that is going to make the next president of the United States.
In these final hours, Romney's sticking to his playbook.
A year's worth of work or longer is all coming together today.
It's all about the economy, pushing his vision of lower taxes and cutting spending. Today, working on his iPad on tonight's speech. And then one more stop, Pennsylvania. Once considered a long shot, now they believe within reach. And an unexpected moment in Pittsburgh, a parking garage filled with supporters. The governor with his hand to his heart and a wave, telling ABC News afterward,
Well, that's when you know you're going to win. I can tell you, Diane, right here in the hall, they're beginning to gather here at the Romney victory party. They're hoping a few hours from now, later here this evening. And I can tell you that the governor, his wife Ann, and their 5 sons are holding at the Westin Hotel, which is behind the complex here. And about that speech he was working on his iPod on the plane there today, the iPad, it's 1,100 words long, and he was asked if he had 2 versions of the speech. He said, Diane, he has one, and it's a victory speech.
All right, David, but tell me again, he's going to be watching with his family right there?
Yes, the 5 sons are all here. The big number I've got to get for you, Diane, is how many grandchildren. As you know, that number is much larger. We'll track that down as the evening goes on, but they're waiting in the hotel right next door tonight.
Good luck with all those grandchildren. Thank you, David. And now I want to bring in the co-anchor of our election night coverage, George Stephanopoulos, right here. So, George, we have the first window onto what people are saying as they come out of the polls.
And I saw a surprise in the first window, and it's when we asked people whether they thought the country was going on the right track or in the wrong direction. Just a year ago, 77% of the country thought we were on the wrong track. Even as late as August, it was 69%. Look at today, down to 52%. Pretty dramatic increase in optimism over the last several weeks. We also asked them about the candidates and the economy. President Obama has a small advantage. You see it right down in front of us there, 52 to 44% on empathy, being in touch with people's problems. But in overall trust to handle the economy, it flips a little bit, and Governor Romney has a slight advantage over President Obama, 50 to 47. So different views there on the candidates and the economy.
All right, so I'm calculating your first campaign, 1988.
That's right, about 20, a little over 25 years ago.
That is right. So what's the most important thing you're going to be watching tonight?
I'm looking at 3 things tonight. The first one is a number. That number is 74%. That was the white share of the electorate 4 years ago in 2008. It's been going down every year. If that goes up this year, that is good news for Governor Romney. If it continues to go down, that will be good news for President Obama. The second thing I'll be looking at is a state, an early state, Virginia. The polls closed there at 7 o'clock. Governor Romney has to win that state to be in the hunt for 270 electoral votes. If he doesn't, if President Obama does, he will be on his way to victory tonight. And then finally, I'm going to be looking at an issue, and that is the issue of the auto bailout. Big dramatic action President Obama took early on. Many jobs across the industrial Midwest, President Obama's firewall, Ohio and Wisconsin and Michigan were dependent on the auto industry. If you see a favorable rating for that, that is good news for the president.
All right, George, we will be right here bringing everybody the big news tonight.